My name is Tashara Wright, and some of the foods that you may have eaten today, yesterday, last week, last month, last year could actually be causing deep toxicity within your body without you even knowing it. Foods that I'm talking about are steak, chicken, corn, salmon, milk, squash, just to name a few. These foods are all GMO foods. GMO is actually a genetically modified organism. It can be plants and animals, and that's where the genetic makeup of that organism has been manipulated or changed in order to enhance it or change it in some kind of way. Some manufacturers do it to enhance the growth, to make it much bigger. For example, for a steak, you could have a big, nice, juicy, thick steak versus a small, puny one. Or to enhance the characteristics of it, to make it look better, like that salad that you want to eat, the nice, big, leafy green lettuce versus a smaller, shriveled up version of it. To possibly control the reproductive activity, such as with chickens, to control how many eggs that chicken is laying. Is it naturally laying 5 eggs? Is it naturally laying 20 eggs within an hour? Also to increase the resistance of parasites. So mass production of food does mean that there are vulnerabilities to those animals. There's exposures. So that's a way that they control the exposure, the bacteria, the parasites that are within those breeding grounds. This process manufacturers use could impact our bodies in different ways. Again, it could cause deep toxicity without us even knowing it. That's why today I'm discussing that all GMO foods should be clearly labeled in plain text for everyone to see. According to Competition Forum, there's a concern that genetically modified foods, or GMOs, cause allergies and also expose us to unintended genes or chemicals that create harmful reactions within our bodies. There's also a direct link to the spike of gluten allergies since GMO foods have been introduced. So no two people's chemical makeup is exactly the same. That is, unless you're a twin, a triplet, or an identical sibling of a multiple set. So for example, I'm lactose intolerant. Milk and ice cream have been considered as safe foods. But does that mean that when I eat milk or ice cream, it's going to have the same effect on me as it may have on one of you who are not lactose intolerant? And as it stands in today's age, lactose is clearly labeled on all of the foods that we eat. The Public Administration and Management Journal indicates that human health is determined by both natural and artificial factors. That's one of the things, is what we consume is a critical variable in our health. There's no consensus about GMO foods, but the effects on our health could be risky and highly unpredictable. How do we know whether that food is going to impact us? Because no two of us are the same. So it may be safe for you, but not necessarily safe for me. There have been reports that GMO foods cause intestinal damage. I mean, there are a lot of diseases that are coming up now, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, things of that nature that impact the intestines that maybe they just weren't diagnosed previously, or they weren't aware of previously, or are they newly created because our dietary habits are different and the foods that we are consuming are not as natural as what they were before. It could also create food allergies, just as I mentioned, gluten is one of them, and also antibiotic resistance. As we're getting older, if you notice, some of the antibiotics that maybe worked for you 5, 10, 15 years ago, they're not as effective in today's society. Could this be caused by the GMO food introductions? When you're shopping in the grocery store, you'll notice that most foods don't say GMO on the package. You'll see a few that say non-GMO, but that's it. How do you truly know what you're buying and what you're eating? When you're in the store shopping, are you thinking, oh, this food may be GMO? Most of us are not. Most of the time you have your shopping list and you're just going down your list and checking off the items that you need to take home. I don't think GMO is a consideration for most of us. I know it's not for me when I'm actually in the grocery store shopping. In most areas of our lives, there are legal protections in place to ensure that we have autonomous control over what happens to our bodies. So that means what we purchase, what we eat, any lotions, anything that we put on that could be absorbed into our immune systems. The article, Autonomy, Values, and Food Choice, says that there are fewer protections to what we purchase and consume in place. So this may not fit with our values, meaning shouldn't we have the choice to say whether the foods we're purchasing, whether they're GMO or non-GMO, but at least be an informed consumer to say, yes, I am willingly purchasing a GMO food and it fits within my values and I'm okay with consuming it. In conclusion, again, we should all be afforded the liberty of knowing without question if the foods that we are consuming are genetically modified or not. When we're in the store, it should be right there in our face, plain as day, for us just to see it. It should say GMO on the label. It shouldn't say, something that we may not understand that's not in a prudent person's language, like lecithin or dextrosinate, or one of those terms that the common person doesn't understand. It should clearly say either GMO or genetically modified organism. Again, it should be in plain text, and I think that everything should say it, even on fruits. Maybe they don't want to create a label to actually put on the fruit, but where you have the price tag that's saying all of these fruits cost a certain price, it should clearly state whether it's GMO or not. Thank you.